Your dog forgives you for almost anything. The forgotten walk, the late dinner, even that time you accidentally stepped on their paw. Their capacity for forgiveness seems limitless, until it isn't. Behind those adoring eyes and wagging tails lies a complex emotional memory that scientists are only beginning to understand. There are certain lines that, once crossed, your dog doesn't just forget. They remember, they change, and your relationship is never quite the same again. What's truly alarming? Most dog owners unknowingly commit these relationship-damaging mistakes every week without realizing the invisible wall they're building between themselves and their four-legged companion. I've spent years studying canine psychology, and what I've discovered about these 9 unforgivable offenses has transformed how thousands of dog owners interact with their pets. These aren't just bad habits, they're trust-breaking violations your dog silently carries with them. The good news? Once you know what these 9 unforgivable acts are, they're surprisingly easy to avoid. But ignore them at your peril, because your dog certainly won't, yelling at them for no reason. Dogs don't speak our language, but they're incredibly intuitive. They pick up on our emotions, our tone, and our energy. That's why when you yell at your dog excessively, it doesn't teach them anything except fear and anxiety. Imagine you come home from work exhausted and notice your dog chewed up your favorite shoes. You yell at them out of frustration, but what you don't realize is that they won't understand why you're mad. If the incident happened hours ago, they have no clue what they did wrong. Studies have shown that dogs respond better to positive reinforcement than punishment. If you want to correct bad behavior, the best method is catching them in the act and redirecting them, not scaring them with loud, unpredictable yelling. Your dog doesn't hold grudges, but they do remember emotions. If they associate you with fear rather than safety, that's a wound that takes time to heal. Breaking a promise, like, "I'll be right back." Have you ever told your dog, "I'll be right back," only to leave them alone for hours? You might think they don't care, but trust me, they know. Dogs don't experience time the way we do, but they have an internal clock that helps them sense when things feel off. If you always leave them alone for longer than they expect, they might develop separation anxiety, leading to destructive behavior, excessive barking, or even depression. Consistency is everything for dogs. If they don't know when or if you're coming back, they may feel abandoned. Try to establish a routine, leave them with comforting toys, and if possible, stick to your word when you say you'll return soon. Because let's be honest, if your best friend kept lying to you, wouldn't you feel a little betrayed? Pulling their tail or ears. It might seem playful to give your dog's tail a little tug or ruffle their ears, but for them, it's anything but fun. A dog's tail is an extension of their spine, filled with nerves and muscles that make it highly sensitive. Pulling it can be painful, uncomfortable, or even damaging. Their ears are similarly delicate, containing thin cartilage and blood vessels that make them prone to injury. While some dogs tolerate gentle handling, others might become defensive or scared if they're grabbed too roughly. If someone, especially a child, pulls their tail or ears repeatedly, a dog may start avoiding them, or worse, reacting negatively. If you want to keep your dog's trust, treat them with the same respect you'd expect for yourself. No one likes having their hair yanked, dogs included, ignoring their pain or discomfort. Dogs are masters of hiding pain. In the wild, showing weakness could make them vulnerable. So, even domesticated dogs tend to suffer in silence. This is why it's heartbreaking when their owners ignore signs of illness or discomfort. If your dog suddenly stops eating, limps, or behaves differently, they're trying to tell you something. Ignoring these signs can lead to worsening conditions, chronic pain, and in some cases, life-threatening situations. Veterinarians emphasize that by the time a dog shows visible signs of pain, they've likely been suffering for a while. As a pet owner, your job is to pay attention to changes in their behavior, energy levels, or eating habits. A dog will never understand why you ignored their suffering, but they will always remember who was there for them in their time of need, forcing them into something they hate. Not every dog loves baths, vet visits, or car rides. While some tolerate these experiences, Others genuinely fear them. And if you force your dog into something they hate without easing them into it, they may never forgive you. For instance, a dog terrified of water won't magically start loving baths if you drag them into the tub and hold them down. A pup who's scared of the car won't feel better if you shove them in and drive off at high speeds. Instead of forcing them, try gradual exposure and positive reinforcement. Treats, praise, and patience go a long way in helping dogs overcome fears instead of deepening them. Because if you shove them into the bathtub today, don't be surprised when they vanish next time they hear the water running. Taking away their favorite toy or bed, dogs form emotional attachments to their belongings. Their favorite toy? Their emotional support is plushie. Their bed? Their safe haven. So imagine how they feel when you suddenly throw out their worn-out toy or replace their comfy old bed with a brand new one that doesn't have their scent. Confusion, stress, betrayal, yep, all of the above. If you absolutely must replace something, do it gradually. Introduce the new item alongside the old one so they don't feel like you've erased a piece of their world overnight. Because no matter how fancy that new dog bed is, if it doesn't feel like home, they won't be happy. Unfair punishments. Dogs are incredibly smart, but they don't understand delayed punishment. If you come home and find a mess, scolding them after the fact won't teach them anything. Instead, they'll just feel scared and confused, especially if they weren't even the culprit. If you live in a multi-dog household, punishing the wrong dog could cause trust issues between you and your pet. Instead of punishment, try redirecting behavior. If your dog chews your shoes, give them a chew toy and praise them when they use it. If they have an accident, work on a consistent potty schedule. Dogs don't hold grudges, but they do remember how you treat them. Constantly ignoring them. Dogs are social creatures. They crave attention, interaction, and love from their humans. If they're constantly ignored, they'll not only feel lonely, but their mental health will suffer. Dogs that are neglected for too long can become depressed, anxious, destructive. Even if you're busy, a few minutes of quality time, a cuddle, a belly rub, or a short walk can make a huge difference in their happiness. Because at the end of the day, your dog doesn't care how much money you make or how many emails you have to send. They just want to spend time with their favorite person. Betraying their trust. Nothing hurts a dog more than broken trust. Whether it's abandonment, abuse, or repeated dishonesty, dogs remember who treated them well and who didn't. Dogs don't understand why someone would leave them behind. They don't get why a once loving owner suddenly stops caring. All they know is that they gave their heart, and it was broken. If you truly love your dog, show them with your actions. Be consistent. Be kind. Be the person they believe you are, because their love is unconditional, and they deserve nothing less in return. Science has shown that dogs don't simply remember what you do. They encode how you make them feel at the deepest neurological level. Those emotional memories shape their behavior toward you forever. This isn't about guilt. It's about recognizing that when you're someone's entire world, even small betrayals matter. The beautiful paradox? Despite remembering hurt, a dog's capacity to forgive when shown consistent love is unmatched in nature. They're not looking to hold grudges. They're waiting for reasons to trust again. So the next time you promise, "I'll be right back," honor that pledge. In a world of complicated relationships, be worthy of the pure faith your dog places in you every day.